to ski it well, and I did.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
There is a lot. Can you just see it? Like squirrels running everywhere. Yeah. My brain works. It pretty much either works at like full speed ahead, pedal to the metal, or pretty much so slowly that it's nearly going backwards. Kind of depends on how much sleep I've gotten and how much racing I've done recently. And like, I'll be able to go as hard as I can, and then when I hit the stop of if it's like a ski race, or if it's even a media day, or if it's painting my house, I'll like go until the job is done, and then I will like just black out. So I don't know. I guess that's maybe the same for a lot of people, but yeah, it's a world. My brain is a world that I don't fully understand. Yep. I mean, my own experiences with my own mental journey, I've learned so much about how important it is to share. Not everything, but the things that weigh heavily on your heart, even if it's writing it down, even if it's not something that anybody ever sees. Like, I have to get things out of me, like as if I've trapped this energy, and I have to release it somehow. And it might be, if it's talking with my psychologist, or if it's talking with family, or if sometimes it's as simple as listening to music that helps me feel the mood I'm feeling deeper. And that feels like it helps to release energy. It's been so important to show, I don't even know, like, it is vulnerability, but the concept around this is changing. It's currently changing because more people are talking about it. It's not becoming vulnerable, or it's becoming something that's less vulnerability and more the norm. It's just like human experience, really. But if you somehow find a way to share human experience and what you've got going on in your own life, for me, it really helps release energy. And that's something, it's something you carry with you, but you can learn to understand it and put a name with it. And it doesn't have to be actually even vulnerable, because what I feel like vulnerability is like a unique, I don't know the exact definition, but the way I see it, it's kind of a unique thing that is like a chink in the armor. What makes you vulnerable? And if you think about it in like a term, I think about it most like in a terminology of battle. It's like what makes you vulnerable or susceptible to death. And it's like, what's everybody's chink? What's everybody's weak thing? But mental struggle is not a unique thing. It is something we all experience. It's actually the norm. It's just hasn't been talked about so much. And in the world of sports, and especially, professional athletics, people look to it as as entertainment. Honestly, it's a world that's meant to be sold. And what we get from it, we get inspiration and motivation and tools to use in our own lives that help us be more active and help us explore our own creativity, accomplish things we want to accomplish. You get your idols, you get role models. But it is entertainment. And that's something, like, I'm really aware of it that's the basis of what it's worth. So when people talk about athletes like we're robots and we don't feel things, it's because what they first came to the sport to experience was entertainment. It's like watching a movie. You don't want to, you're trying to forget the things that happened at work that day. You're trying to experience a world that's slightly different than yours, or find an outlet, or connect with friends, on the Sunday night football game, whatever it is. Like, there's so many reasons people watch sports. And normally it's not to learn about that athlete's struggles in life. You get that in your own life. Why would you watch a sport you're like, well, this. The best way I can explain it is, have you ever started a movie that you thought was going to be funny, and then it started off like a little bit depressing and you turned it off because you weren't ready to deal with that? I mean, that's what happens when athletes talk about struggles. And I think that's why the backlash is so high and why it's so hard to broach that topic. So I can understand it, but at the same time, we're starting to create a norm that makes it okay to be vulnerable. And people will start to slightly adjust the way they see sports and why they go to sports and what entertainment they look for. They'll be a little bit more lenient with hearing about any sort of struggles that athletes deal with, because they'll know that that's a piece of it. Just as much as I learned through my career that media is a part of the game when I want to be the best ski racer in the world, people will learn to know that, like, the human factor, the human element of sports comes with the entertainment side of it. And it's a package deal. And that's the barrier we're breaking. That's resetting a record in its own right.
I have a wife, a daughter, 2 sisters, and I'm totally fine with talking about
Period.
cycling. Yeah.
Yes! Oh, this is my time to shine. Sorry.
You opened the door there. You can talk about it in a fun or a serious way.
The topic of, periods, menstrual cycling. It's not really taboo. It's something that, like, it's hormones. It's hormone fluctuation. Men have it too, in a very, very different way. The thing with women is that you're literally creating a massacre out of your body every single month. And it hurts. And we all have to live with it. It's not like it's something that I've been cursed with and every other woman on the planet. Like, at least I have access to products that can help me deal with it. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there who can't even, for instance, can we talk about The Last of Us?
Sure.
Okay. So in The Last of Us, there's a scene where she gets access to some tampons. She's like, oh my gosh, struck gold. And I'm just thinking this whole time, as far as cleanliness and hygiene, I realize this is sort of a post-apocalyptic situation, and probably that's not the first thing that should be on anyone's mind. But this happens monthly, and you run out of products to handle it monthly. So you don't just have a lifetime supply of tampons.
You can say tampons.
I know, it still feels taboo, but anyway, I'm like, all of this, I mean, doesn't make any sense. That this just basic human nature. None of this, this isn't realistic. It's not the like fungus that spreads across the entire globe that really gets to me. It's the fact that after that happens, they don't have a lifetime supply of products to deal with menstrual cycles. That's really something that I hang on. But anyway, I mean, this interview happened. I mentioned it, but it really went basically viral because the reporter like got lost in translation, and he was like, she didn't have time to do her monthly cycle, like biking. And so she's really tired because of that. And I was like, no. This might be like the one good thing that I said the entire time. And you thought it was in reference to biking, but it made it even more golden because, yeah, I mean, it's something that you just don't really think about. Most people don't think about. And even when I'm not on my period, I'm not really thinking about it. But every month it comes around and I'm then like, oh, I forgot how painful this is, how tired I am, how my balance is off, all of those pieces. And every female deals with it. And there's a lot more research coming around about how female athletes can deal with menstruation. So that's really good because it affects jet lag in a different way. It's just, the list goes on and on. Obviously, I could talk about it all day, even though I don't know that much about it besides what is actually happening. Yeah, I mean, hormone regulation. But then it's like a simple, I mean, honestly, there's not a lot. You can talk about diet, but we're traveling and completely at the mercy of whatever food is available to us in restaurants. So that takes nutrition a little bit out of the option to handle this. And then it's like, oh, if you have cramps, take Advil. I don't know, one of the different kind of painkillers, essentially. Get more sleep because you're tired. I mean, you can't just not race because you have your period. So it's basically like, I feel extra tired today or my balance is off, so I'm going to do a little bit more balance-focused pre-race activation or something like that. But that's where it's so important to get access to more of the research because it can help you. Like jet lag, when I travel, an 8-hour time difference affects me so much harder when I'm cycling than when I'm not. And that affects my training. It affects racing. It affects my body. Normally when I hurt my back, it's like my muscles always spasm harder when I'm on my period. So I have to change the way that I train on snow in order to account for the fact that my body can probably handle less volume. So there's a lot of things I do just naturally after learning about myself, but I think there's a far more scientific way to approach it, and we're just diving into that now. I mean, this has been around since the beginning of womanhood, and we are just getting there.
Half the people on the planet deal with this every month, and it's, yeah.
You just shed your uterus right out. Just.
Yeah, the sequence of like walking in or so, should we do that one?
What if I say like, I'm Mikaela Shiffrin and that's what you get?
Yeah, that's
good. Just like that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm Mikaela Shiffrin and that's all she wrote. Is that okay?
Sure. I mean, it's
up to me.
It's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yeah, I think we leave it at that. We may leave the frame.
Okay.
As you wish.